Hey, what's up guys? Team Hard Life Captain Albert Sertucci here. Alright, so I know I've fallen behind on a little bit of the storytelling Thursdays and storytelling Mondays. However, I'm still on it. I'm still making phone calls and getting new guys to come on board for the Monday issue. On my Thursday issues, we're still going to get back into it. It's just a lot of things are growing, and I'm calling it growing pains. We are growing here at the shop, but at the same time too, there was something I really wanted to touch base on, because with all the social medias, we have also always been upfront with what's going on with the team and how it evolves, or hey, we won a tournament, or we placed in a tournament, or we attended a tournament. But one of the major ones that still haunts me today, and it was a tournament that we entered into back in 2013, and it was the biggest land-based shark fishing tournament of Texas. It still is. However, it was the one year that I finally won. And the story behind that is, I'd already been fishing this tournament for 5-8 years, something like that. And there was several times that I was up in the winners category, but something happened. Somehow they used their ways to disqualify my catches or what have you. And so I kind of put up with it and so forth. But this time it had gotten to the point that I caught it all on film, because by this time I'd already had team sponsors. So I had certain people that were there just to film everything, so that way we can back up our claims after everything gets said and done, and then also to have great footage for our sponsors to put their logos on as we're putting it up on social medias. So the way this tournament started out was like every year. They started doing online registrations, and so me and the team, we agreed to meet at a McDonald's for everybody to use the Wi-Fi, so we can ensure that everybody that was willing to participate in the tournament could get in the tournament. So we got there, we started eating and prepping, and making sure our logins worked and everything else, so we can get into the tournament. So 8 o'clock came, started getting in and so forth, and logging in is what I mean by that. So I logged in, I picked the divisions that I wanted to get into, and then I submitted it, got my email going for my credit card application and all of that, and hit enter, kickback. What the hell? So I shoot an email, say, hey man, I think y'all's computer's glitching, this and that. I'll keep trying this and that, and so I kept doing what I needed to do, and get close to the end, get kicked back. Get close to the end, get kicked back. Something, somehow, some way kept glitching on me, kicking me out. Every time it did, I would shoot Yucatan email and let them know, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this and that. And well, they kept putting it on my phone, they kept putting it on the Wi-Fi, and I said, well, that's impossible, because he's getting in. His phone ain't as good as my phone at that time, and he's getting in, he's using the same Wi-Fi. Like, all of us were doing the same exact thing. One person with a computer, a laptop, even then, I got on that, still could not get my information to pass. And then finally, the last bit of it came up, and it sold out in like 30 minutes or something like that. So I was like, man, I didn't get in or whatever, and I was mad. But at the same time too, it was more of, okay, what am I going to do? I need to be there for the guys. I'm going to support them, help them any way I can, because you know what? If I'm in a tournament, they would do the same for me. So when it came down to that portion, one of my other teammates at the time was sitting there, and he's like, I gotta get in. I took work off, and stuff like that. So he gets on one of my other teammates' phone, and 5 minutes after it closed, he goes, hey, I got one. And he showed me. I said, dude, take a screenshot of that, because if they deny it later, it shows you paid for a ticket and somehow you got it after, it was already closed. So I emailed Yucatan again, and he goes, that's impossible. It wouldn't do that. And I'm like, dude, I'm looking at the screenshot right now. This is what happened. So that day came and went. That following Wednesday, we had our team meeting, and we started collectively coming up, okay, who's going to do what at the tournament. When it came down to it, last week, before the tournament started, we were having our final team meeting, which was that Wednesday. Well, prior to that was that Friday that I had a phone call from another buddy of mine saying that his father couldn't make it. Because his father couldn't make it because he was on a hunting, or had a hunting trip that he had to attend to. He had to give up his ticket. So he said, hey man, if you pay me what I paid for it, you can get in. I was like, done. So I sent him the money. He sent me the confirmation code. We got the name switched over. I got an email from Yucatan saying, hey, congratulations, you're in the tournament. And be sure to read the rules and regulations because there's a couple of new rules implemented. And I was like, all right, cool. So I read through them. And it was the last rule, and it said before or after during the tournament. And I was like, all right, good. You know, in my head, I'm thinking that's good because me and several other guys the year prior nearly got ran over by a drunk guy on the beach. And he was part of the Yucatan entry guys. He came drunk as hell, nearly ran us over. And you know, when we're sitting in line trying to get in, you know, the pre-tickets or whatever. So it just, you know, I thought of it in that sense. And I was like, well, that's good. You know, they're finally stepping up the game and stuff like that. Well, that Wednesday at the meeting, I had addressed it with the team. I said, hey, everybody that's in, congratulations, letting y'all know I'm in the tournament too. I kind of held it as a surprise, and so, you know, we got happy and rejoiced and stuff like that. And I said, all right, everybody's read the new rules and regulations with Yucatan. They're like, what new rules? I said, y'all didn't get the email. And they're like, well, no. And I said, well, check y'all's email, make sure you're getting the correct information. Everybody got on their phones, nobody has no email. So on a side note, I was like, you know what, hold on. I shoot an email to Yucatan. I was like, hey, on the tournament, did you send that to everybody or just to me? And they go, no, just to you because it only applies to you or in those words. And I was like, how does that only apply to me? And they were talking about the multiple untruths on my Facebook. And I was like, multiple untruths? I was like, I live in a black and white world. I cannot do the gray area. There's just no way. I've got too many sponsors that depend on me. I've got too many teammates that depend on me. I have a business that depends on me, and I got a family that depends on me. Playing in the gray area has never been in my vocabulary to be able to do. And the reason for that is because tournaments, sponsors, friends, you know, young kids looking up to me as a role model. So I was like, well, what are y'all talking about? And they said that about the multiple untruths that happened on my Facebook about Yucatan and the entry. I said, everything that I sent those emails about, I said, I've got witnesses that were there that can attest for me. It happened exactly as I emailed it to. And then they were talking about where I said I was going to boycott the tournament. I said, well, did you read the whole explanation of why I said I was going to boycott the tournament? And they go, well, no. I said, well, I stated on there because as soon as I could not get into the tournament, I got emails and text messages and PMs through Facebook saying, hey man, can you use your sponsors to get us in? We didn't get in. I was like, how can I get y'all in if I can't even get myself in the tournament? And then within those comments, I saw where one guy posted, hey man, some guy said he got 100 tickets and then he's going to sell them on Craigslist. I said, well, for one, the system they said was designed to where you can only buy one ticket at a time, you know, for each division or whatever it may be. And two, Yucatan, if it did happen and he was able to do that, well, or stick to the rules and strip the guy of those tickets, obviously give him his money back or whatever, but deny him from entering the tournament because look, he already broke the rules. And you know, I kept it in there. I said, but my main concern was that if they didn't, you know, if it was true, that they followed through and do what they said they were going to do, that, you know, strip him or do whatever. I said, but at that point, we don't even know if this is true or not, so I'm not even going to worry about that. But if I do find out later or somebody else can prove that it happened later, then and they didn't do nothing about it, then yeah, I'm going to boycott the tournament. Why fish a tournament where they're not going to stand by their word on what they say the rules are going to be and or how to follow them? So with all that being said, that's what they were using against me on the tournament. I was like, hey man, I served my country. I know what my amendment rights are, you know, and I copied and pasted my Second Amendment right, you know, freedom of speech or what have you. And I put that in there and I said, now I need you to be real specific and clear as to what you are telling me I can and cannot say on my own Facebook. Next email I got was agreed to just drop it. And I'm like, y'all should have never even started that in the first place. You know, if I wasn't threatening harm to anybody or, you know, something that they could legally go after me with, why even attempt to tell me what I can and can't say on my Facebook? I was pretty hot. I was livid, with my team, and I told them what was going on. And they're like, screw that, man. We just need to go over there and win. So that's the whole point. And so that's where the second portion of the story draws into, where people have known me for when I'm out there and there ain't no fish happening, I crack open a beer and I'll start to drink and fishing starts to happen. It's crazy. I mean, it's been done and it's been caught on film. And one of the first times it was caught on film was during this Sharkathon. We ran baits and did everything we were supposed to do after we checked in. And even then, our whole camp, because I was with Damon Remillard, we rode in, and it took us forever to get in, because with all the camps that had their lines over the driving lane and stuff like that, breaking all kinds of rules, but nobody ever went out and told them anything. We just stopped camp by camp that we knew the people, and we, hey, now good luck, this and that, I hope you'll win, and that's a big one. There's a lot of fishermen that we know out there, and I would rather hold my head up high, not catch a fish, but congratulate the winner all day long for them catching the fish. It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling. So it took us forever to get back to camp. Finally got there and we started running baits. I probably ran my bait around 3 o'clock that afternoon, finally, after we got rigged up and everything, and making it through the third breaker, because as always, Sharkathon is a hard tournament to fish. And so when I finally made it through, I ended up bombing one bait, and that one was out. It was either 1,500 or 1,800 yards on that bait. Came back in and tried all afternoon to get back out there, and it got to the point that I just couldn't go any further. So while in camp, we were sitting there, and one of my guys was like, hey man, I thought you were gonna, hold up to your end of the bargain. I said, you know what, you're right, let's do this. Several of my teammates pulled out their phone to start recording, and we had designated my buddy's girlfriend at the time to be the main one that I would talk to. And as we were there, the other thing that we had too was a bunch of other guys from Facebook that I had only met that night or that day, saying that they just wanted to watch us shark fish the tournament, which is fine by me because they weren't competing with us. So, we were talking with them and showing them, hey, look, these are the rules for the tournament. I read them all in front of everybody, kind of do, and stuff like that. And so I started thanking my sponsors on videos, like, hey, we like to thank so-and-so, this, that, then we get to our final one. And so with the final one, it was Land Shark Lager. So I said, and a final word from our sponsor, I said, here's to win a Sharkathon, tap, 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 take a crack, take a drink. And at that moment, I said, watch. And we just look up, and the rod just starts to peel the line off. 80 Avet going with it was a 575 Harrington at the time. It started running, and I was like, dude, that's it. So I get up there, I start getting harnessed up, and I had the beer in the little holder there, it falls off the rack. Rod goes slack. I was like, hey, get me another beer, I'm losing the fish. So I toss up another beer, I catch it, tap, 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 take a crack, take a quick drink. Rod bowls over, starts running again. I hold it in one of the holders there. I said, dude, we can't drop this. So I'm harnessing up, get the fish on, I set the hook, fight is on. However long later, it was about a 15-minute fight to finally get that bull shark in, and it was a 7'5" and 3/4 inch female bull shark. Tagged, successfully released, DNA sampled, and everything that we needed to do that time. And we got video of everything from start to finish. However, when it came to the award ceremony, they finally announced my name. I'm the winner. We got to go do the lie detector. Cool deal. We go over there. They take you into a little room with one little lampshade on. And you go from blistering hot, bright lights, lots of music, lots of fun, to one guy in a room, real dimly lit, and a very cool temperature. I mean, it felt good. I mean, real good in there. Y'all know when y'all go into a fresh hotel, man, that feeling you get when you've been out in the sun all day. Well, I ended up falling asleep multiple times during the testing. And I mean, I woke up and didn't even know where I was at. One time I cramped so bad, I couldn't breathe. I was cramping up here in my back of my shoulder and everything. So they had to stop the testing, get it undone. And once I calmed my cramp down, I was able to continue the testing. After all the testing was said and done, he said that I failed. And I said, I failed? I said, how can that be? I said, we recorded everything. We got all the proof. And he goes, yeah, but you got to pass a lie detector. And so he started asking me other questions. And then he's like, well, did you argue with these, with them or something like that? I said, well, yeah. I said, I showed him the email. Well, the emails contained everything, the collaboration between me and them, all prior to that tournament starting. He goes, well, that's why you failed. I said, why is that? What does that have to do anything with me catching my shark during the legit time? He's like, it's your anger. He's the lie detector goes off your fight or flight in your body. Your body naturally reacts before your mind can even do anything that you're going to stay and fight or you're going to turn and run. But also too, you know, it wasn't something I was going to back down from. If I know I'm right in my heart and in my mind, I can sleep at night. If I'm wrong, I'll let you know, hey, my bad, I'm sorry, you know, apologize, what can I do to make it right? So when he's telling me that, I said, dude, that's unfair. You know, it's going off of something that has nothing to do with the tournament, and me catching the winning shark when I was supposed to catch it and so forth. So with all of that being said, he's like, well, I'll have to talk to them, but at the end it's our final decision. I was like, all right, cool. So he comes in, he starts telling them, and they go, well, hold on, you need to leave the room. So they kick me out of the room. I was like, all right. So I'm standing in the hall, and about 5 or 10 minutes later, the second place guy was taking his polygraph too. He comes out, hey, thanks for cheating. I won Sharkathon. Went running down the hall. I said, okay, how does he know what the hell's going on if they're still in there debating what's going to happen with him? Don't know. So they brought me in there. I said, hey, it's no need to tell me. I already found out from the guy next door when he came running out of the room. And they just looked at me and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be talking to my lawyer because that should have been confidential until I found out before you let anybody else know. And they didn't do it. They did not follow what they were supposed to do. And even then, too, they knew by arguing with me, it would piss me off in that sense that it would mess with my lie detector if I was ever there. And I was there. And so because of that reason, is why I failed, and that's why I lost, and that's why I was stripped of the winnings. However, since then, I have won more than a dozen tournaments, and every tournament, or some people have always tried to get me disqualified. Several guys were calling one of the tournament directors and saying I was using pump sharks for bait, which was fine, because when the game warden showed up, I wasn't there, because we were in line because we knew we were going to be a long line to get over the ferry back into Galveston. But the camp south of us and the camp north of us also had film. And they're like, well, what catch? What are you talking about? And they told them, so they showed them film and proved that we were innocent. So the charges were dropped there. We ended up winning the tournament. Same thing happened in South Padre. We got accused of fishing too close to the jetty. Well, all we had to do was turn on because we actually, back then, you could still use your phone as long as you could pull out the chip and give it to them so they could download the pictures. Well, on there, it says your longitude and latitude of the pictures that were taken. So we were exonerated there. And time and time again, we're able to prove our innocence. But because of their way of using the lie detector was the only way they could get to deny me the winnings of the tournament. And I'm bringing this up now because it still follows me to this day. People always hear other people talking about, but not one of those guys that you hear talking about me were ever in the camp. And not one time will you find any of that information that I so-called cheated, that they were there. Not one of those guys will tell you that, because all of them know we caught that shark legit. All of us did everything. We read the rules the way we were supposed to, and we pretty much filmed everything from start to finish. So just one of them things, man. When you get to where you're at and you keep doing what you got to do, don't worry about the guys trying to hold you down, because they're not going to do it if you stay true to yourself. And I'm going to stay true to myself. And, like I said, hard life ain't just a way of naming a team. It's a lifestyle I live. Wouldn't have it any other way. And that's why I'm here today and sharing all my knowledge with you guys. So I appreciate y'all's time for hearing me out. And I truly hope that all of y'all can get on your biggest catches very soon, if y'all haven't already, because there's just so much more to come. Y'all have a good one. Thank you very much.